So I just want to mention that to my students is that, you know, I understand the inconvenience. I understand that, it might be a while before I have a second academy open. Um, and most of you are on a 2 or 3 day per week membership plan. When I reopen, all of you are going to get unlimited access to the classes. In addition, you're all going to get the Hyperfly gi for free as a gift and as a token of appreciation um, for the inconvenience that I've caused you. I know some of the academies are reopening now, and I see the gyms are empty, 3, 4, 5 people, and there's a lot of fear going on still. Um, so it just to show appreciation, that's least I can do. In addition to that, at that time when I reopen and you decide that you can't train and you want your money back and you're leaving, I'll find a way to within a reasonable amount of time give you your money back. So moving on, this happened. The best day in my life. My two kids, Arya and Tara. And then in addition to that, this happened. I received my black belt. Um, I was so proud. This is a picture is from my earlier days, brown belt days, when I was a little skinnier. This is my professor George Brito, a guy that I respect a lot, and he helped me and guided me many times. So I thank him a lot. But the guy in the corner, Josh Report, he's the owner and manager of the Toronto BJJ is the place where I got my black belt from. He saved my butt many times. His guidance in marketing, in management, in business organization, like everything, he spent hours with me, helping me out, and I just want to mention his name and thank him. So I was so proud to be part of that large team. This is the day when I got my promoted to a black belt, and all these people, I know every single one of them here by face and name. And this picture here shows my professor, and most of these people got promoted on that day with me. So that means I've trained with these people for 10 years. Um, I can rely on their help and advice when I call them, and I have called many of them to ask them for advice during this whole process. So I didn't do this alone. Um, what could go wrong? Well, at the start, this happened. You know, I have all respect for Henry Gracie, and I've learned a lot from him. I met him at the seminar, and we had a discussion, and I told him that about the plans of reopening the academy, and I wanted the self-defense component. At that time, I had erroneous thinking that there's a difference between Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I got my black belt, and I'm like, man, I want to learn, the self-defense component of it, and we've learned some. There's no question about it. But I just didn't know what else was there. I fell for the marketing of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is different. They have a trademark. His family, Henry's father, I guess, has a trademark on the name, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Not even Enzo Gracie can teach Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. He has a Enzo Gracie Academy. They added their first name to it. And I applaud him for that as a businessman, and then his whole business model. And I blame myself for not understanding his business model. So what happened here was um, we talked, and he said, he doesn't sell affiliations. I can still be affiliated with my professor, which I wanted. And all they do is they make sure that you can teach what they teach. Gracie combatives, and I was happy with it. And I would pay for the instructor's course, 3,000 American, by the way. And I wanted to go to California and get tested and get certified as a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu certified training instructor. However, when I passed Gracie combatives, I realized that For one, differences between BJJ and that part of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu are tiny, but they are incredibly important. Here's an example. A friend of mine, I won't mention his name, but a solid blue belt, almost 2 years of training, got caught in a headlock by my electrician. No jiu-jitsu skills. And for the life of me, couldn't get out of it. So, everybody should learn this. Get a DVD and learn Gracie combatives. They don't have trademark or control on the techniques themselves. You just can't call yourself certified training center, and you can't call yourself certified training instructor unless you pass instructor's level course. And that's wonderful. I didn't have a problem with that at all. However, after I paid $3,000 American, I found out that you actually have to, when you teach your students, you have to videotape them, you have to send them the video, you have to charge your students 160 American and send him 60% of that money. For one, that's old school. I'm not going to charge my students for belts. You earn your belt, you get your belt. And I understand the business model, but I don't know the legal side of it. For the life of me, couldn't find anything before I paid the money. So in reality, I don't know how legal that is. In Canada, bait and switch is illegal. I blame myself for not asking questions, for not digging more. Maybe there's somewhere on the website. I don't know. I'm not saying that he's got shady business practices, but to me, I just couldn't give that much control over my business and my students to him just because I wanted that. That was not for me. I want the component. I learned techniques. All those techniques, most of them I've seen in Holler Gracie seminars, and self-defense is actually Gracie Baja teaches it, and you just can't call it Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So we kind of moved on from there, and I started my own thing. So this is my wife's friend, Diana Matic, and my friend, of course. When the next logical step was to find a location, and we were a little green, and we started all searching ourselves, and this commercial real estate. She has interest in real estate and more on residential side, and we, at that time I didn't even know what the TMI meant, and you'll learn quickly that TMI is a taxes, maintenance, and insurance, a rather important number. So how they advertise it, rent, and then the TMI. So I entered this guy, Pete Ivanovic, a very close friend of mine. He's a director in a company, was it Task Capital or something like that. If you need money to build stuff, he can get you money. If he can't get you money, you're likely to reconsider your project. So he's a very close friend of mine. He played a key role here. He sort of put me in contact with the commercial real estate agent, and we found the location. So voila. This was my first attempt at the logo and to create it, but what could go wrong? We signed the lease, and little did I know that the TMI, taxes, maintenance, and insurance, because we negotiated net 8 months of free rent, that only means net rent. $7,000 a month, I don't have to pay, that's rent, but $4,000 a month plus tax, I have to pay. So times 8, you have to pay that in advance. That's $36,700. There's additional last month rent and the TMI, which is $16,800 for the 10th year, which is more. So that had to be paid up front. Then there's some deposits that we negotiated that I had to pay for the wall removal. There's right here $40,000 math. This is top floor, 3,200 square feet, and then 2 private training rooms in the basement. Total 5,500 square feet. I didn't even have the keys, and I'm over $100,000 in the hole. That was my first crisis. I thought, wow, okay, that's it. I'm gonna lose my skin here. I couldn't sleep for days. And again, enter the king, Pedro Ivanovic, Pete Ivanovic. He's sitting right in the chair. That was from his wedding. And also that's his brother. Like, I'm in the middle, just above him, and to my left is his brother-in-law. He's Royal Bank branch manager, and together we sat down and we organized, and we we he helped me find the solution together with my family, my sister and my brother-in-law and my parents, that gifted me $80,000 um, with that business plan that they helped me create. We secured the funding from the Royal Bank at $126,000 to start to fund the leasehold improvements that are about to line up.